folks, welcome to Seawaywhiskywire. I am back with another first impression video tonight, folks. We are heading out to British Columbia to take a look at the Shelter Point Classic Canadian Single Malt. So go watch the intro, come on back, we'll pop the top, pour, and ponder. Stick around, guys. Well, hey folks, thanks for coming back after the intro. I'm Tyler, and tonight on the bar we are heading all the way out to beautiful Vancouver Island in British Columbia, Canada to take a look at the Shelter Point Classic Canadian Single Malt. They were nice enough to send this over to the channel for me to take a look at, so thank you very much, folks over there at Shelter Point. Really appreciate it. Love your support of the channel, and I'm really excited to share this one because this will soon be available in the LCBO in Ontario. Yes, soon folks in the Seaway and in Ontario are going to be able to purchase this from the LCBO. This is very exciting for me because a lot of stuff that I feature on the channel is stuff that you have to get exclusively online. So I'm very excited to share this and share it ahead of schedule, so to speak. So what can I tell you guys about this release here from Shelter Point? Well, it is their classic Canadian single malt, Vancouver Island coastal influence right on the packaging here. Has an age stamp of 7 years old. Comes in with an ABV stamp of 46% ABV, non-chill filtered, no color added, just the way we like it, and it is printed right here on the bottle. Perfect. Exactly what we want to see. And I'm glad they're doing that. I'm glad it's going to the LCBO because that is a place I think where, especially in Ontario, for those of you who are from Ontario, LCBO shelves a little lackluster in the integrity department and not treating the whiskey drinker with the dignity and respect that we deserve. So thank you guys over at Shelter Point. Really encouraging other distilleries to go ahead and do that too and treat us with dignity and respect and post it on the bottle and produce it the way it should be produced. Natural. That's what we're looking for. So what can I tell you guys about this release here? So the new make is aged for 5 years in American oak. This is stated right on the packaging here before being vatted into special finishes. So they got a slew of special finishes that they kind of put into this vatting here, including wine, sherry and port casks, virgin oak, and smoked barrels. And they age that for an additional 2 years in there. So you're going to get some pretty interesting influences there. Again, they don't say how old or how many times the barrels were used for the first 5 years, but then you've got these interesting vattings that go into it there to add some flavor. So I'm pretty curious to see what's in here. I've tried a cask strength version of their classic single malt, but never tried their regular release at 46%. And with the distillery nestled right there on the coast of Vancouver Island, the distillate's said to take on some of that maritime or coastal influence from the beautiful Pacific Ocean. So I'm very curious to see how that works and how it kind of picks up that unique island terroir, so to speak. But let's crack into this bottle, get a fresh crack here, as I do on these channels. This one here, I kind of researched it ahead of time and it looks pretty easy, so probably no editing gonna happen here. Easy peasy. All right, let's give the Shelter Point Classic Single Malt a good cork pop here. Beautiful cork pop. And we'll pour her out. I'm going to give this a little bit of time to sit and acclimate and, a minute in the glass for every year in the cask. But let's go ahead and take a look at the color of the liquid here. Natural color. Pretty light and really, 5 years in the American oak, and then going into the vattings of the special releases there. But again, majority of its life spent in American oak. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna give this probably about at least 7 minutes. I'm probably gonna give more like 15 minutes. So sit tight. I'm gonna do a little wipe here, and I will be back to kick off my first thoughts and opinions on the Shelter Point Classic Canadian Single Malt. All right, folks, I'm back. It's been about 15 minutes now. I've let it sit and acclimate here in the bar, and I'm ready to dive in and check out the nose on the Shelter Point Classic Canadian Single Malt at 7 years of age. So let's check out the nose. Nice nose. Loads of vanilla on there. Cereal notes as well. I get almost a bit of like a vinegar or acidic astringency to it there. It's not off-putting. Almost a reminiscent of like apple cider vinegar, I would say, just a little bit. And then you get those apples, pears. I get a touch of some sour grape maybe in there, red berries. Not getting too much brininess. There's a bit of saline, like a little bit of saltiness on the nose, but it's not overly briny or anything like that. And no touch of smoke or anything like that. I know they say they do use smoked barrels. I assume that means like peat smoke barrels, but again, I don't know. All right, very nice nose. Nothing off-putting on the nose. It doesn't singe your nose hairs at 46% there. Very comfortable to get your nose right in there and take a good long look at it. But no, very nice, very fresh, very vibrant nose. Dare I say, very good for the fall. I know I just did a fall video, and this one here very well could have made the list if I'd gotten kicked into it here. But again, excited to share this one with you guys because it is going to be available at the LCBO in the coming months. So with that, let's hop into the palate and see what I can pull out of the Shelter Point Classic Canadian Single Malt. Again, at 7 years of age, 46% ABV, non-chill filtered, no color added, and available at the LCBO this coming month. So on the palate, cheers to your health. Let's get into it. Beautiful mouthfeel. No bitterness, nothing off-putting, no ethanol burn. The back end, we'll get into it there. There's a bit of bitterness at the back end, but as far as the palate and the transitions of it there, palate pretty much matches the nose there. That astringency I mentioned with the apple cider vinegar kind of component is not on the palate, which honestly, I don't mind it. I've had some Benromics that have that kind of astringency to it, and I actually quite enjoy it, but this one here is not on there. Lots of vanilla, lots of apples, lots of pears. I get a little touch of red berries in there, some jammy notes like raspberry jam, blueberries, blackberry jam kind of character. I'm going for one more sip. It's not a very oily or very like a viscous liquid, but it definitely has some more tannin in there. So kind of beyond the fruit there, I get a transition in some spice. I get some cloves, some nutmeg. I get a little bit of cinnamon, some white pepper there, and then this kind of kick of oak at the back end. It's a bit of bitter oak. That leads me to believe there is some like aged or tired casks maybe used in the process a little bit, but it's not overly bitter. So, please excuse the comment, but I could be completely wrong on that. But that's generally where I would pull out that kind of bit of bitter component to it there. But it's at the back end, and it's very, very short. Lengthwise, I would say it's a solid medium. It's got a lot going on for you here. Beautiful flavor components and well balanced. And I'm glad it's coming to the LCBO so folks can check out a good craft distillery from British Columbia, because there's a lot of them out there that a lot of these guys can't touch. So I'm glad Shelter Point's breaking new ground at the LCBO here in Ontario. And I'm gonna go for one more sip before I tell you guys any more about it. I definitely get the influence of those special finishes there. It's very, very light on the palate though. You got to really kind of find them. Maybe some water would lend a little bit to that as well. I get that little bit of grapiness in there. I get that sherry kind of kick in there, raisins and spices and stuff like that. But it's primarily, ex-bourbon, I would think, and American oak. So it's very much kind of focused on those very vanilla, honey, caramel notes there. Very Scotch-like in character. Mouthfeel, it doesn't have that oiliness like I said, but it is a very well put together, very competent Scotch, or pardon me, very competent Canadian single malt, and very glad that I were able to send this over to the channel for me to take a look at. Very much enjoy it. This is probably the second Shelter Point I've had. First one was a cast strength release, which was a big, heavy hitter banger. This one here, much more balanced, much more approachable. And I think this is going to be a good one for coming into Christmas, for folks. If you're looking for something a little bit more in the upper echelons of Canadian whiskey to grab somebody, especially a Canadian single malt like this. But integrity product coming from an integrity distillery out on Vancouver Island, British Columbia. And putting together some good stuff on Shelter Point. So gonna work my way through this bottle and see what I can come up with before I put a formal review together. Again, first thoughts tonight, but first thoughts, pretty good whiskey. Very good single malt. And if you like what we're doing here at seawaywhiskywire, you guys know that drill. Like and subscribe down below. And hey, don't forget to check me out on Instagram at seawaywhiskywire for more content. Don't forget to go check out Shelter Point. I'm going to put all their information down in the description below, and go check them out. They do a ton of different releases, a ton of different whiskeys, and branches off in different finishes and whatnot from the classic range. Definitely got some cool stuff out there, so I encourage you to go check them out. Well, guys, I'm going to go finish up this lovely dram of Shelter Point Classic Canadian Single Malt, and I'm going to get to some editing. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, guys. Take care. All the best, and I'll see you around. Bye for now. Cheers.